grew up in Johannesburg, South Africa. My parents always said the system that we are living in is unequal, oppressive and evil.
Are you going to come to our after party? Have you got the invitation?
The moment I arrived at college, I almost instantly joined the kind of anti-apartheid student movement that was at that point, mobilizing on the streets, asking for Nelson Mandela to be released from prison. And I was lucky enough to be born at a time during a revolution in which we won. And I think that part of the reason I'm optimistic by nature is because my most formative experience in my life was going from injustice to justice, from autocratic rule to democracy.
I have been in the fashion industry my entire career on both the creative side and the business side, and I met Paul in 2010 and he was coming from the human rights world.
I became convinced that there was an additional way to achieve the things that I cared a lot about, which was making sure that people who were at the bottom of the pyramid could lead dignified lives.
I think it's a very interesting fact that you can buy a $1 t-shirt made halfway across the globe and assume that people's human rights have been respected and that people are being paid properly. I think in a world where profit margin is the top goal, Maiyet was a way to actually change the conversation at the top of the industry.
The kind of core of Maiyet is finding a group of people who have spectacular skills, but who are trapped in local markets, who don't have design direction, don't have the skills and the infrastructure, but have this raw talents and this incredible ability for hard work. And it's to work with those artisans and to fashion a brand that gives expression to their skills, but to do so in a way that wins within the fashion community, so that you build a brand that people would buy anyway.
It was a very open-minded kind of exploration of the world and search for people with whom to work, and we found just incredible craft in some of the most unexpected places.
Block prints from Jaipur and batik from Indonesia and hand knits from Peru and Colombia and cashmere from Mongolia. We have artisans in about a dozen countries around the world.
The goal is to sustainably grow their businesses, so we work with them season after season, improving and innovating the product so that they can move along with the growth of the brand.
In Kenya, we built a workshop for our jewelry partners. When we found them, they were using a bicycle pump to fan a furnace to melt metals. They were pouring metals with children running around. They didn't have good safety equipment. The molds were sand and molasses. And notwithstanding all those challenges, they were making beautiful stuff. And so one of the things we did with Nest was find a workshop, find some land, build a workshop, give them training, give them better safety equipment. And there are now 16 people who work with them. They source to Maiyet, but to other people as well. And the kind of spark of what it was that we were trying to achieve is being played out in a small way in Kenya. Give people the tools to be able to work hard and compete, and they will.
These craftsmen should be as revered and as well paid as the craftsmen that we're working with in Italy, or the craftsmen we're working with in New York.
We have a slot on the official calendar of French Fashion Week, which is an enormous honor, and it's a very rare thing for a new brand to be able to have. We're in the company of Celine and Hermès and Givenchy and Saint Laurent and McQueen. We
launched exclusively with Barney's in 2012, so we're only 2 years old in the marketplace. We work with Net-a-Porter, we work with other specialty boutiques globally.
And I think that there's been this real recognition in both the editorial and the buying community that it is possible to create a brand with a deep founding social mission, with a real strong ethical impulse, but also satisfy the needs of the most exacting fashion customers and the most critical fashion eyes.
And so I think customers need to become more aware of how their products are made, who's making their product. Think about the human being behind the thing that's on your body. If they ask those questions, then the brands will react. I think the brands have to ask questions as well, which is, are we proud of what we're making? Could we stand behind it? If you stripped away all of the secrecy or any of it and became fully transparent on how your products were made, would you be proud of that?